Are you a good tipper to your pet sitter or dog walker when you go out of town?
Okay, people, Sabrina here. So, tip your pet sitters. So, when you go out of town, if you have somebody come sit with your pets, whether they are pet walkers or they actually stay for the evening, tip your pets well. We had a pet sitter for about 10 years. About halfway in, maybe even more, I would always leave $3 to $5 for maybe like $100 job. I mean, I wasn't thinking. So one time it dawned on me to ask her, what is the standard tip that people leave? And so once she told me, I made sure I corrected that so that from that point on, she got the standard tip, which I think she said is 20% or 25%. But I didn't know. Sometimes you don't know if you don't ask.
Any extra fees that your pet sitter ever tack on that surprised you?
So signs that your pet sitter may be trying to ditch you, so to speak. So same said pet sitter. One time she had a family emergency, a last minute emergency, and I let her know and reassured her I was fine if someone else came out other than her. So I said, but she wasn't going to be available to introduce her associate to me, and I was fine with that. I said no problem. She can come by, blah blah blah. Long story short, about 2 to 3 days before she came out, she sent me an invoice that included a meet and greet fee. And for those of you that don't know what a meet and greet fee is, it's just a fee that, like a fee at the start of introducing your person. When you hire a pet sitter, 50% of the time, maybe more now since post COVID, people charge this standard fee so they can meet your pets, find out their behaviors, etc., etc. Well, I had had her for about 7 years at this point, and that sort of threw me for a loop because it was my idea, and I reassured her I was okay with the lady coming out. And so here I am thinking I'm doing her a favor because that's one less obligation she has to worry about, and it turned into an additional $40 for me. Apparently that's standard now. I'm not really sure. But anyway, so that was one time where I was like, okay, maybe she's just trying to ditch us. We went back and forth a little while on the fee and everything like that. And finally, I was like, it is what it is. I had to have, we trusted her. We had her for years. And I wasn't going to try to find another sitter.
Are you extra when it comes to someone caring for your pet? You know who you are.
Okay, signs that you may be extra when it comes to someone caring for your pet or something like that. So, needless to say, we don't have the same pet sitter. Um, there were several other emergencies that came along, and they were legitimate. But my main concern was my pets. So maybe that made me come off as insensitive and things of that nature. So I think after that last time, unfortunately, things just never quite seemed right. I did reach out one other time inquiring about if her availability to sit for my pets, and she never really responded. So that showed me it was time for me to get another sitter, which to me was sort of sad after 10 years of a relationship. But again, I guess looking at it both ways, with me needing the services for my pet and her, I mean, she has a business that she has to do. I just wanted my pets cared for. So maybe looking at it both ways, that's just the beast of the business. Maybe we were extra when it came to pet ownership and I wasn't aware of it. I mean, I did always the first day, even when we took cruises for our vacations. So even whether we were on land or at sea, I always was a little bit OCD the first day and persistent when it came for looking out for my pets. Hey, are they okay? How did they do the first day? Things of that nature. Maybe that over 10 years is a little bit much to some people. I don't really know. I just felt like the last 2 to 3 years, things just seemed a little, not awkward, but a little strained. So I don't know. I felt like maybe that was a warning that was time to find another sitter, especially after that pet sitting fee, which again, it wasn't a scam. I think it just was what it was. But are you extra when it comes to someone caring for your pet? Do you expect a lot out of your pet sitters when you either tip very little or you're constantly bothering them when they're away? Because of our Ring camera and different things that we have around the house, there really was no need for me to constantly pester her or anyone. So a lot of times I would just look through the camera, because many times what will happen the first day, I don't know how your pets are, many times the first day I just wouldn't see them in the backyard. And I'm like, okay, did the camera fail? Are they shut in a room and I forgot them? You always think of these worst case scenarios when you leave your pets behind. But so we started leaving cameras around the house so I could keep an eye on my one that, and he's so light. He's like 10, 12 pounds. So maybe the camera just didn't pick him up. But, you know, we remedied that by getting more cameras. So how are you? Do you expect the moon and stars and give very little in return for your tips for your sitters? Anyway, chime down below and mention any stories or any situations that you've had with your pet sitter, good or awkward. Thank you.